It's Nolan. Price of admission rising. Entrepreneur connoisseur, I've been enterprising. Clean paper with immunizing. I need that. Microphone fiend broke away from the scene. Now I'm falling in the relapse. The young G rap. Fillet the game like a sea bass. Hitting levels, yeah, I mean, couldn't reach that. It ain't all about the money, but if money's vacant, it's like a stripper dog, ain't nothing shaking. I used to get them folk for folks. Wishing that the industry would come and open the door. Used to book shows, never had nothing to show. The stage coming and go. Turned the new leaf, got me heating up like the stove. The portfolio, sick as polio. Tails like a Lojiro. Homies, toe sticks, no Pinocchio. Pin game, publishing checks, looking like OVO. Quentin Miller, the shit thriller. Sick pillar, turn tough niggas to Ben Stiller. Slick puller, corporate, forever in style like Earth Forces. Flow so hot it could burn torches. Business had been booming, about to open a lab in my first office. Pompous, never had a compass. Killer with a conscience. See me on Ponce with my accomplice. Eating confit, you niggas calling it confit. Never forget where I'm from, we used to pawn shit. Pardon me for showing part of me. Niggas think it's sweet till it's rude and disorderly. The dichotomy, light skin, expecting to hit some R&B. I'm too sharp, I'll cut your femoral artery. All the poppycock can get your poppy pop set up on fire till they stop and drop and roll them out the barbershop. I don't really talk a lot, calm and collected, boy. I preach when I speak, put coins in the collection. Beat the order for the pecking, birds pecking like the penguin. Catch me with the pelicans, I'm ballin' like Ingram. Buzzing out in England and y'all ain't got an inkling. Put together lines like sequence. I've been too facetious, taking the game for face value. Now I want my face on a statue. Holding my nutshell, playing with the cashews. Turn them to ash if I catch you. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there. As y'all know, we've been keeping very close tabs on this Jay-Z, Tony Buzbee, 13-year-old accuser, now 37 years old situation, right? And what I find very interesting is there's been a new filing from Jay-Z against Tony Buzbee. As a matter of fact, he's filed a defamation claim, however, is not getting the same amount of coverage that all of the rest of the details and all of the rest of the updates that have come before this have gotten. I think that's partially because, to my knowledge, the filing is not made public, which is, these filings, these public filings spreading out across social media, these are becoming more commonplace now. People are getting more access to these things, talking about them, sifting through them, trying to see what these people are talking about. And for whatever reason, this one isn't out as of yet. So Jay-Z filed yesterday a defamation and extortion claim specifically towards Tony Buzbee. Rolling Stone has the article, the breaking story. And again, the entire filing is not public as of yet. I'm sure it will probably be released at some point, which we can go through it and speak at a later time. But as of now, we got to go off of what we got. All right? Let me put myself in the corner. How dare y'all put me like that low in the corner, goddamn. All right. Let's do it. So Jay-Z adds defamation claim to extortion lawsuit against 13-year-old lawyer's accuser. Rapper claims Tony Buzbee defamed him by going on a media crusade to accuse the rapper of SAing a 13-year-old girl. Jay-Z has denied the claim. Jay-Z ramped up his scorched earth defense against the accusation that he SA'd a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs in 2000, suing the woman's lawyer Tony Buzbee for defamation. The Roc Nation mogul, whose real name is Sean Carter, vehemently denied the Jane Doe's heinous accusation, and his high-powered attorney Alex Spiro laid out a defense that has highlighted inconsistencies in the woman's complaint. They say this is utter falsehoods, right? Combs' lawyers, as in Diddy, also denied the woman's claims, saying he has never SA'd or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. And I think Cassie would beg to differ, but we're going to keep going as it pertains to Jay-Z. While Carter's team fights to dismiss the woman's case in New York, the rapper has directed his furor at Buzbee, a media-savvy national trial attorney who positioned himself at the center of the civil litigation against Combs. Claiming to represent more than 120 alleged victims, Buzbee also vowed to go after other high-profile celebrities who he claimed were involved or complicit in the alleged abuse. As Buzbee began filing a series of lawsuits against Combs in October, Carter claimed that Buzbee sent him a demand letter on November 5th that he felt was a thinly veiled blackmail attempt. In response, Carter filed an extortion lawsuit against Buzbee as a John Doe on November 17th, as we all know, later confirming he was the plaintiff when he was named in the Jane Doe's complaint on December 8th. Last Friday, Carter's lawyers added a defamation claim to the lawsuit, revealing more details about the demand letter and taking aim at Buzbee's reputation, according to court documents obtained by Rolling Stone. They say, viewed in the context of Buzbee's prior statements threatening to file criminal complaints against and publicly shame a long list of celebrities, the message in the extortion demands was clear. Pay up or face a criminal investigation and extraordinary reputational harm. Carter claims Buzbee's demand letter only gave a 2-week window to commit a confidential mediation regarding an alleged male and female victim who claimed they had been drugged and raped as minors. It has been my experience that when someone does this to a victim once, the likelihood is that they have done the same or similar things to others, Buzbee allegedly wrote in the letter, bolding the sentence. Buzbee's clients were seeking something of substance by way of a settlement, Carter's lawyers allege. If Carter couldn't reach an agreement, Buzbee would take a different course. In short, defendants placed a gun to Mr. Carter's head, they say. They were demanding that Mr. Carter either pay something of substance to stop defendants from making public the wildly false allegations of SA that would subject Mr. Carter to opprobrium and irreparably harm his reputation, family, career, and livelihood, or 2, endure that financial and personal ruin. Defendant's statements and correspondence made clear the immediate and extensive threat of exposure if Mr. Carter failed to pay. Carter's attorneys claimed that Buzbee began defaming Carter back in October, accusing the attorney of going on a media crusade to threaten and intimidate anyone who may have ever come into contact with Combs. They included screenshots of Buzbee's social media activity, including him liking a post that speculated Carter was involved in Combs' alleged SAs. So he was already making his paper trail known via social media, liking posts, just pointing out who he wanted people to know was going to be included. His attorneys also zeroed in on a TMZ article from December 10th, where Buzbee indicated that his client might file a criminal complaint against Carter in New York. These were no idle comments, the lawsuit claims. Buzbee's words were carefully calculated to leave the public with one unavoidable conclusion, that Mr. Carter was facing imminent criminal prosecution for, we'll just say SA for the sake of censorship. This is defamation per se because he directly and falsely accused Mr. Carter of committing the horrendous criminal act. Okay? I didn't know that he was talking about filing a criminal complaint, because we haven't seen him talk about filing a criminal complaint ever whatsoever. And we saw Jay-Z come out and say, do it. The new claim is patently frivolous and will be dismissed, Tony Buzbee wrote in a statement to Rolling Stone. He says, I've never said a word about him. This is just another attempt to bully and intimidate me. It just won't work. You was just on the internet talking about, but of course, maybe he did it in a way where he didn't say his name. Could have swore he said Jay-Z Rock Nation recently. Carter's defamation claim against Buzbee is yet another escalation in the war between the pair. Earlier this week, Buzbee filed a lawsuit against Rock Nation, accusing the company and its lawyers of using shadowy operatives and promising paydays to illegally entice former Buzbee clients into filing frivolous claims against him. I actually have access to that paperwork. They say Rock Nation quickly denied the accusation, calling the lawsuit baloney and a pathetic attempt to distract and deflect attention from the case. Mr. Carter is not someone who can be intimidated, Carter's lawyers added. He filed this lawsuit to preemptively call out Buzbee for the miscreant that he is. This back and forth is more entertaining than goddamn Kendrick and Drake at this point. Shit, we already got the music. Now we got this shit going. In other news related to this subject matter and this case, Jay-Z and Alex Spiro, Quinn Emanuel, they've filed more paperwork with the courts as well. They also have been petitioning with the judge to strike the anonymity from the accuser. Of course, up to this point, she's been recognized as Jane Doe. She did an interview with NBC News in which her identity was hidden. All we could see was her hands and a shadow. And Jay-Z and his legal team are vehemently against this. They've written multiple letters to the judge, multiple filings stating that anonymity should be removed. Her identity should be disclosed to the public. They say that lawsuits are intended to be, the intended nature of lawsuits is to be made public, and that they are basically, they say that due to her age, being that she's 37 now, she shouldn't be hiding herself. It's a few different things that they have that they're speaking on. And they're basically just saying, she gets to hide in the shadows while Jay-Z is taking a very public hit to his reputation, a very public blow to his reputation. Even if people aren't necessarily believing the stories that are coming out, the image that he's built up over the course of his career, the goodwill that he's built up, and just the general nature of his importance within hip hop and music and entertainment culture is all being brought in, at very minimum, brought into question, where people have to look at it with a side eye, and it's kind of putting a stain on his legacy to where some people, I don't know how many, but there's a lot of people that were already waiting for him to go down. There's a lot of people that are, on the fence about this, especially with the weight of the allegations. It's hard to look at them and not at least consider the possibility, because anytime someone accuses someone of these types of things, you got to say, well, we don't know them. Is it possible that they may have done this? Because if I come out and side with, the potential abuser, and it comes out that they really did this, then you're going to look weird. You're going to look funny. And you basically put yourself on the wrong side of history. Now, based on the facts and the information that have been presented thus far, it seems very far-fetched to say that the events that Miss Jane Doe and lawyer Tony Buzbee allege happened could have possibly occurred. There's a lot of holes in the story. There seems to be a lot of lies. She named people that she never spoke to. She named people that she supposedly spoke to that were never even present. Now they're trying to give her, as in Buzbee, now they're asking for the courts to, give her a range of dates of a 4-year range in which these events could have occurred. Even when looking through those lenses, you see that it's just not adding up. It's not really, the seatbelt is not clicking, right? It's like when you get in one of your folks' car and you like, shit, man, your shit ain't clicking, man. Shit, man. I hope you got all your airbags, because, man, what the fuck am I supposed to do in here? You sure we want to ride in your shit? Your seatbelt ain't clicking. So, there's that. As I spoke about before, Tony Buzbee and them, they've also got some legal filings of their own against Jay-Z. Well, not Jay-Z specifically, but more so Roc Nation and the legal associates of Jay-Z, right? So there's a filing from Gerardo Garcia against Marcy Bryan Croft. I showed y'all who Miss Marcy was the other day. The white lady who I believe is from Kansas or something like that. Or she's not out in Kansas. She's out in Finnog. Where is she from? She is from Mississippi. I misspoke on that. But Jay-Z, Roc Nation, and Team Rock are suing the police department out there in Kansas City. So she's an attorney. She's world renowned. You know what I'm saying? And she's worked with him on some police reform and stuff like that with Team Rock. So they're going at Miss Croft, Roc Nation, Jessica Santiago from Quinn Emanuel. So they've lumped all of them together. And this is Gerardo Garcia. I don't know exactly who Gerardo is, but it seems that they're someone filing this on behalf of Tony Buzbee. So I guess for the sake of going over all the things relevant to this, we'll pull that up as well. This was filed just a couple of days ago, but this also kind of went under the radar. We saw Buzbee come out and claim that Jay-Z sent people out there in Texas, but this is the actual legal allegations, okay? So here they say plaintiff files his original petition against defendants Marcy Brian Croft, MJ Legal, PA investigator, Jessica Santiago. Okay, so all right. Private investigator? Rock Nation, LLC, and Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan, seeking damages, and respectfully shows this honorable court the following. Defendants have conspired to obstruct justice by engaging shadowy operatives to illegally seek out more than 24 current and former clients of the Buzbee law firm to convince those clients to bring frivolous cases against the Buzbee law firm. Defendant Rock Nation is financing the effort. Its attorneys Marcy Croft and Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating the effort. In some cases, defendants' agents pretend to work for the state of Texas and have flashed fake badges. Soliciting clients is a crime in the state of Texas. Paying individuals to file false claims is unethical and criminal in the state of Texas. That's something that you've been doing for years, though, Mr. Buzbee. Impersonating a state official is a crime. In at least one case, defendants' agents offered as much as $10,000 to a former client of the Buzbee law firm to sue the firm. Unfortunately for the defendants, their agents are not very smart or careful. Their agents were caught on audio tape red-handed, not knowing they were being recorded. Defendants' agents admit that defendant Marcy Croft, a licensed Texas lawyer and member of Team Rock, was orchestrating the effort, and in another recording, those agents described the criminal conspiracy in great detail, going so far to admit that the lawsuits would be in the press and that some former clients had already accepted money to join the effort. Now, I don't know who the private investigator is in this. I would love to see. They were caught on audio tape, not videotape. Buzbee said he got videos. Now we're saying it's audio. Now, the thing about audio is, without an accompanying video in 2024, they can say it's manufactured. I'm not on anybody's side here. I'm just giving y'all know I do this. I talk, I give y'all the information, and then I respond to it. But I don't know if in fact they are going door to door on some bullshit. Let it be revealed. Rock Nation and Jay-Z are synonymous. Jay-Z is founder and chairman of Rock Nation. At the same time, the illegal conduct described herein continues. The Buzbee law firm is pursuing claims on behalf of at least one client against Jay-Z in New York federal court, and as a result of that client's claims, Jay-Z sued the Buzbee firm in Los Angeles State Court. Defendant Quinn Emanuel, who represents Jay-Z in both cases, who also frequently represents Rock Nation, denied in open court and in the press involvement in the scheme described herein. That denial was a bold-faced lie. The illegal effort described here, which Rock Nation is funding and defendant Croft and defendant Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating, is intended to interfere with the Buzbee law firm's ability to represent its clients and offer pertinent evidence to authorities. Defendant scheme is summarized in the following recording transcript. So they've got a recording that says, what we're trying to do is we are trying to put this thing together for the company that we're working for. That's a very interesting way of speaking to someone in a legal aspect. We're trying to put this together for the company we're working for. That would be sloppy. We could get you paid. You could get money, right? Soon, you know. We gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday just to get him on the right path. At the end of the day, this is going to go through the courts. Buzbee is getting sued. I need video for this. As part of their scheme, defendants attempted to use the plaintiff herein as a pawn. On behalf of defendant Marcy Croft, two individuals approached the plaintiff. They were pushy. They told him he had to talk to them because they were with the state. They told him that they were putting together a lawsuit on behalf of defendant Marcy Croft and the company she was working for, and that she would assign his case to someone who could get him a lot of money. Thankfully, rather than go along with their illegal efforts, the plaintiff recorded them instead. He now files suit for barratry, both a crime and a civil action in the state of Texas. This is just one of multiple cases to be filed by plaintiffs who have been illegally solicited by investigators working as a part of cabal headquartered in New York City. Defendants have a long history of the type of abusive and egregious conduct described herein because they have gotten away with it for so long. Defendants think they could come down to Texas and do whatever they choose with impunity. They are wrong. Their behavior will have consequences both civilly and criminally. Now, I'm willing to bet my last dollar that was not Marcy Croft at the door, but they're saying this is somebody that she hired to do this. Plaintiff is a resident of Texas and Harris County. Defendant Marcy Bryan Croft is a Texas licensed attorney and a self-admitted member of Team Rock. She can be served through the Texas Secretary of State at her office at 1501 Jacksonian. No. We're not going to do that. So here's Marcy. And we talked about her a few days ago. This isn't like breaking information, but this is the official lawsuit that has been filed against her and Rock Nation, because first Tony Buzbee came out and just was yapping. Now we have actual paperwork stating that they're moving forward, but this was not filed by Tony Buzbee. Okay, defendant MJ Legal PA is a business corporation and law firm performing legal services in Texas. This defendant can be served through the Texas Secretary of State at her office. Defendant Rock Nation LLC is a limited liability company organized in Delaware and headquartered in New York. This defendant can be served. So this is all of the locations where they can be served on behalf of these filings. Plaintiff intends to conduct discovery under Level 3 of Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 190.4 and affirmatively pleads that this suit is not governed by the expedited actions process in Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 169 because plaintiff requests injunctive relief and plaintiff seeks monetary relief over $100,000. So they coming for some dough. This filing is supporting by the following evidence, which is attached and incorporated herein: transcript of defendant Jessica Santiago and Gerard Garcia. And further, on behalf of two clients, Tony Buzbee and Buzbee Law Firm sent demand letters to Sean Carter's attorneys in New York. The letters made no monetary demand. They only sought a confidential sit-down to discuss the client's allegations. In response to the two letters, defendant Quinn Emanuel filed suit against the Buzbee Law Firm. That suit alleged that the firm was trying to extort Sean Carter. That lawsuit was and is frivolous and will be dismissed. We shall see. Several weeks later, the Buzbee Law Firm, on behalf of one of the clients who sent the demand letter, filed a lawsuit against Mr. Carter. At or around that time, defendant's conspiracy began. As part of that conspiracy, current and former clients of the Buzbee Law Firm began receiving solicitations from investigators asking current and former clients to sue the firm. The investigators used burner phones. Many times, the investigators used fake names or flashed badges or credentials, but would not let the client see them. So how did you identify them? During some of the contacts, the investigators were pushy, and in at least two, they pretended to be acting on behalf of the state of Texas. Several of these calls were caught on either camera or tape. In each instance, the investigators were careful not to disclose on whose behalf they were working. For good reason, the defendants in this case did not want to disclose their participation in the flagrant violation of Texas law. Indeed, these defendants openly and brazenly violated Texas criminal laws dozens of times. One such target of defendant solicitation was plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. Mr. Garcia is a resident of Harris County. He was injured in a Jones Act lawsuit and hired the Buzbee firm to represent him. His case was settled in 2020. He was happy with the resolution of his case and had no complaints with the Buzbee firm. Nearly 5 years later, after his case had been resolved, not seeking to hire a lawyer or file a lawsuit, Mr. Garcia was contacted out of the blue by two investigators. This contact was an illegal solicitation and was made on behalf of and as part of a conspiracy involving defendants Croft, Rock Nation, and Quinn Emanuel. One of these investigators identified herself as Jessica Santiago. Okay, so we do have an identification here. These two investigators approached Mr. Garcia at his home and flashed a badge. They told plaintiff Garcia several times that they were from the state. They asked Mr. Garcia if he was unhappy with his settlement from 2020 and whether they could see his settlement documents. They were pushy. They followed this up by explaining to him that they were with the state, but could connect him with a private lawyer so he could sue the Buzbee law firm. They told Garcia several times that there was money in this for you. These investigators' requests became increasingly aggressive and hostile. At some point, defendant's agents demanded Mr. Garcia produce his medical records and offered him money to hire the private lawyer to sue the Buzbee law firm. Mr. Garcia decided to call the Buzbee law firm and report the conduct. Despite her best efforts in disguising the identities of those she was working for, investigator Jessica Santiago was caught on tape disclosing to Mr. Garcia that she was working for an attorney named Marcy Croft at the firm MJ Legal PA. I find that to be very interesting that she would give you that information. Defendant Marcy Croft is an attorney in Jackson, Mississippi. Defendant MJ Law is the law firm Ms. Croft purportedly owns. Ms. Croft advertises herself as a member of Team Rock. Moreover, Ms. Croft advertises that she has become actively involved with criminal justice reform and prison reform alongside Rock Nation's philanthropic arm Team Rock. She further advertises herself as being involved in numerous litigation actions pending on behalf of Team Rock families and hundreds of incarcerated men. Marcy Croft has worked with Rock Nation for years alongside Quinn Emanuel's Alex Spiro. Spiro and Quinn Emanuel are currently opposing the Buzbee law firm in at least 2 cases. Okay? This is their cause of action towards the barratry solicitation. And they say Rock Nation is financing it. They say this is a civil conspiracy. All defendants had a meeting of the minds on this organized criminal conduct, then took many unlawful acts to accomplish this criminal conduct. All right? This is the punitive damages. They say the conduct was committed with actual malice, and as such, plaintiff seeks exemplary damages against defendants. Moreover, because this involves the violation of a criminal statute, no damage caps are applicable. So they're going to try to run that up on their ass. If they can prove that this is indeed, brought about by Rock Nation, this is I think this could be a very big hit on Jessica Santiago, Marcy Bryan, Rock Nation, all of y'all, Quinn Emanuel. If what they're saying is true, this is gonna put a big question mark by everything else y'all have going on. Do I believe Jay-Z did what he's being accused of? No. But what is this? If it's real, I gotta see something. Y'all say y'all got audio and video. We gonna need y'all to produce that so we could get some clarity on what's going down. Cause remember, we didn't believe what the fuck Diddy had going on until we seen video. Now some of us did because it was such a quick settlement. But when I say we, I'm just talking about a larger collective publicly. Right? So yeah, that's what we have here, man. Again, once the actual legal paperwork from Jay-Z's amended defamation filing goes up, we'll talk more at length about what he's accusing Tony Buzbee of. Of course, there's already an extortion claim, but now it's added defamation. I would love to see what else they're going to put in there. I'm quite sure once they try to, neutralize this Tony Buzbee situation, like I stated, they're already asking for the courts to remove the anonymity from the Jane Doe that's accusing him of these SAs. So if they can neutralize Tony Buzbee and get her identity disclosed to the public, I think they already know who she is, but they don't want to out her. They want to make the judge rule on it so that they're not like stepping on anyone's toes. They're going to put a defamation suit on her ass too. But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Much love and respect.
King of my city in cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit on my almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.